The reigning WCS Europe champion is here, and he is in charge. However, there's three phenomenal combatants looking to knock him off his pedestal as we've boiled things down to the final week here in the round of 32. This is the World Championship Series Europe Premier League. My name's James Carroll, and as always, alongside Sean Clark.
Tonight is the strongest and most competitive group that we would have seen so far in the 32, and of course we will see for the remaining of the week. This is going to be a difficult one, as the reigning champion looks to defend his title against three very different, but three very difficult opponents. This is going to be a very unpredictable day, and certainly an uncertain one.
Yeah, it's time to look at the group now as we get into things. Group F here. This is the most electrifying group of the round of 32. Let's start with the champion, as always, of 2014 here in Europe. It is MC.
The man to beat today, the reigning champion, the #1 player in the WCS. He's played in 3 seasons in the Premier League, and he's reached the final 3 times. Surely if he reaches a 4th, he's dreaming.
Maybe, maybe. And then we have our two Europe's brightest stars. 2 players that consistently contest for the highest spots in the region. It's TLO and Happy.
Yeah, TLO, a contender for a spot at the global finals last year, but he messed up back-to-back seasons that stopped him from getting there within the Premier League. 2014 has started well for him with a 3rd and 4th placement in Sao Paulo. Didn't get the best of start last season, just a round of 16 finish, but tonight is the night that Dario Vunch, aka TLO, needs to perform. But another player who also needs to perform is Happy, because Happy is absolutely one of the most consistent Terran players that we have in the Premier League. This is his 5th appearance tonight, but he just cannot break high-level results. He cannot get past the quarterfinal, and by gosh, if he gets to a semi-final, I think everyone's going to be excited about it. He has the potential to be a winner and a champion, but he has to start today.
And finally, we have a Zerg who came out of retirement for one last shot at glory before the end of the year. It's Golden.
That's right. He makes his debut in any form of Premier League, whether it be the GSL, America, or Europe. He is here for the first time. He now lives in Germany, practices in Germany, and is working hard in Germany to make that last dream come true. He has about 6 to 7 months left of his StarCraft 2 career before he must enroll in the military in South Korea. Tonight's his night to really kickstart things.
Yeah, one thing's for sure, you don't want to be missing any of the games tonight with the skill level across the board here. Group of Death, people are touting it as. Anyway, let's look at how the matches are going to be lining up for tonight.
All right, so the first game of the evening will be 2 Koreans against each other. The reigning champion of the Premier League versus Golden, the up-and-comer. And then, of course, we have Happy and TLO as our second game. The both winners of those will go up against each other for our first slot and first place advancement into the round of 16. And then 3 players must compete against each other in the lower bracket for our second place.
All right, well, it's time for game #1 now as we see things. We have, obviously, the guy sitting at the #1 seed so far. It's MC going to be going up against Golden.
Yeah, as much as MC's meant to win this series on paper, as much as his fans want to see him win, I really don't think it's going to be as easy as, let's say, the ranks portray this to be. #1 against #94. I don't think it's going to be easy at all, which is one of the main reasons why this group is unpredictable, because Golden, who comes into this group as the lowest seed, as 4th seed in this group, he is the strongest, lowest seeded player in the entire of the round of 32, if you're following me here. I think that Golden has a clear opportunity here to upset MC. I think Golden's coming into this series with nothing to lose and everything to gain. MC, for the first time in a long time, is now defending a title, not chasing one.
That's true. That's very true. Actually, let's focus down on these guys because there's a lot to these as we have our first player, obviously, MC, the reigning champion. And I can only imagine he's looking to butt heads with that final once again.
Yeah, if he, like I said at the start, if he makes it to 4 finals in a row, he is the conqueror of Europe. Absolutely insanely impressive to be able to do that. But it is going to be a very, very difficult task to do so. And it starts today. It is not going to be easy. And MC has a track record of doing well in one tournament and winning it, then the next tournament starting to drop down and decline in results. He must not let that slip in today.
And then our second player, the contender, who is dangerous in his own right. It's Alien Invasion's Golden.
All right, Golden, what are you going to do today? This is going to be difficult for him, but it is definitely certain to cause upsets if he does. He comes into this as the outsider and the underdog in today's group, but by no means is he meant to be counted out. This guy can tango with the best in the business, and I think we could see that today.
I'm looking forward to this first series. I really am. Countdown has already begun, and we'll be getting into series number 1 in just a second here. First map will be Habitation Station between these two players. And as you said before, you know, with this group being as stacked as it is, Golden can still bring a fight to MC, but we still have, it's such a rounded group. I'm really, really looking forward to today.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the most unpredictable groups that we've seen in the round of 32. As Golden, Happy, and Tilo, very similar in skill levels, all looking to topple the champion.
Yep. All right. We'll be getting into this in just a second. As, again, we have Habitation Station for our first map in this PVZ. And MC, I can only imagine him coming into this season after getting that first place victory is no doubt looking for that finals once again. But as we've mentioned in prior broadcasts, the skill level and this season is going to be the best yet. So let's jump right on in as we have now spawning up to the top right-hand corner as our blue Zerg, representing Alien Invasion, it is Golden. And up to the top left-hand corner as our blue Protoss, it is MC.
An aggressive map to kick things off here. The first game of the day in Group F. What does MC have up his sleeve? That's more so important for me as a commentator than what Golden's going to do. Because MC always is the player to choose the strategy which dictates the pace of the game. Recently, he has been looking at slower ways to play this matchup, but traditionally, MC is the boss toss. He's in your face. He wants to win the game as fast as possible, and he is as aggressive as can be.
And look at this, Golden already sending out a drone scout to get keen eyes on what his opponent's up to already. So wasn't really expecting this from Golden, but he's going to get over there and see a gateway opener, which at least gives him a little bit of wiggle room. Yeah,
with a drone scout like this, it's usually like only Korean Zergs do this. The Europeans and North Americans really stay away from this unless it's someone like Cats from America who randomly places a hatchery down and can really mess with you like that. But what this usually means with the Korean Zerg players is they want to be able to know if they can go hatchery first or spawn and pull first. Because if it is going to be a gateway opening like this, technically, Golden can go hatchery, gas, then pool. He could even go towards a third hatchery without too much to worry about. So he's able to mold his, opening to what MC's doing. If he saw a forge first, then he probably would have just slapped down the spawn and pull first himself.
Yeah, and MC, likewise, in turn, is going to send out a probe a little bit earlier than I was expecting as well, just to kind of poke around and see what his opponent's up to. Because right now, Golden, he's taking liberties. He's gone for spawning pool off this.
Yeah, quite late too. 17 spawning pool that was. Yeah. So he did push himself up in drones before that went down. Increases his economy because he knew that he wasn't going to be rushed early on.
And Zealot's moving out as well into the middle of the map. With the cybernetics core being added on, Golden knows everything that's going on his opponent's side of the map. Saw the Zealot leave for just a second there as well.
Yep.
So
MC didn't really know what his opponent was doing, but definitely had the same thought process that I had. Upon seeing a drone scout like that, usually pushes the Zerg player to be a little bit more greedy than he would do usually, which is why the Zealot's out there. He's going to try and put a bit of pressure on, see if there is anything he can achieve here. He knows that there is no gas, so there's of course no Zergling speed anytime soon. The Zealot, if he gets a drone, it's massive. It's a good start.
Yeah, and this is kind of MC to a T, right? It's like any unit you give him, he's going to look for some damage somewhere, and he's already looking for it. He'll probably even use the probe for combat during all of this, just to buffer a little bit whilst he's taking his Nexus back at home.
Yep, he's 4 slings out, 8 lings.
Wow.
It's a good forcement there from MC, and then he's going to retreat. Ideally, a Zerg player would love to have like 2 to 4, but going up to 8 already is definitely a nice move there from MC, just by kind of taunting his opponent a little bit with that first Zealot.
And the Overlord does know everything that's going on the other side, which is all right for Golden. So kind of a slower pace start to this game, but realistically, quite a lot has already happened just based on scouting and a Zealot moving out alone.
Yeah, MC saw that the lings have been made there. He chrono boosts a Stalker out to help and assist the Zealot and Probe because he needs some defense. He doesn't have a Mothership core. I mean, he does, but he needs a Stalker to help boost this and make sure that he is defended against these lings because, of course, 8 lings does beat a Zealot quite easily here. And he's also able to push that Overlord away too He's going to have to retreat back into the hole here. Should
Nice
be
little
fine.
block.
That Overlord needs to get out of there.
Yeah, might end up dying, actually. It's going to be close. But aside from that, 3 extra gateways going down at the front here for MC, and he might be pulling a few punches.
Well, killing this Overlord's pretty big.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to really slow down Golden. Has to build another Overlord. He will get supply capped here. That's big there for MC, and he may be aggressive to this. I think he scouted that the gold base has been taken. Yes, he has.
Yep.
So he knows where to go. And so far, we don't see any gases taken by Golden. He would only be relying on slow Zerglings and Queens, potentially static defense.
That's quite a
that's
hefty...
4 gateways, potentially 4 Zealots coming in. He does quite have a bit of gas there banked up, but nice sentry warping to make sure that these Lings don't get by. This is a threat, but there are 26 Lings. Ideally here, MC obviously doesn't want to fight with just a couple of Zealots, but if he gets up to like 8 Zealots, like a couple of warpings from these gateways together, it doesn't matter how many Lings you have almost. Zealots will win, especially once they get in high numbers. Yeah,
and especially if you pin them up against like walls, things like that, and deny those Zerglings from getting a full wraparound.
And then there's the Time Warp as well, the Mothership core added in.
I mean, Golden knows the severity of this. Look, he's positioning his Queens and all his Lings in that defensive posture. 2 more Queens just about to pop.
I think if MC sees all these Lings, he'll definitely wait for another round here.
Yeah. One of them led the charge there. He's trying to poke forwards with the Stalkers. A good move here by MC. He knows they're more mobile. And he does see a lot of Lings there, so he's going to pull back for a second. Actually warps and Stalkers after
this
seeing
is
that.
fine. I mean, these are slow Lings, remember? Time Warp's going to be really big if he gets it on top of all these units in a second hit.
10 more Lings on the way. The Stalkers doing their job, poking and prodding at the front, wearing down this army just a little by little.
He's got to be careful of that Mothership core.
And a good Time Warp on top of those Queens, but the Zerglings, if they get wrapped around on some of those Stalkers, they do get 2, or 1 or 2 of them at the front. Mothership core falls down. That's not the best of positions. Golden, with just slow Lingers alone, is trying to push this back, but he has 3 more Queens in production. He'll have 8 soon.
These Queens are doing a lot for the defense here, more so than the Lings are.
Yeah, they just kind of... They're holding it at bay, slowing it down, and, wearing you down from the back as well. This is really, really annoying for MC.
And MC's got to start thinking about, plan B. He warps in another round of Zealots. He starts pro production again, but this isn't working out as well as he wanted to. I mean, if he backs off now, he gives Golden a free ticket, really. But he's definitely got to keep the pressure on, but start to think about another plan, and it is the Forge and Simulators coming in.
Ling's still pushing forward, so he has 6 Queens in total now that can all rendezvous at this location and really cause a lot of problems. Zealots at the front are working their way through a lot of these Zerglings, and the Stalkers at the back are well controlled by MC to keep these Zerglings at bay.
That was a nice trade.
Yeah, that was good control.
Good fight by MC. Good control, good fight.
And now he's going to try and bring down some of these Queens. There's no energy on them for transfer users, so 1 does fall, as will an Overlord. All of this pressure whilst producing probes behind it and no drones being made.
With that good fight, MC's probably got the red light. He's like Terminator, just red lights right now, seeing again a potential kill.
And he does know that those Spine Crawlers are up on the top of this high ground as well. But he's just trading off so well, everything considered.
It's funny because we saw Plan B being kicked in, but he's not using the Assimilators, he's not using the Forge, he just went back to units again because he smelt a potential win again. Really does have a killer instinct, MC.
Yeah, I gotta say though, gotta commend Golden for this constant Queen production, and the addition of Spine Crawlers on the high ground are gonna help him out.
Yeah.
Roach Warrant B is added on after he did get a bit of gas, but this should, well, I mean, as the numbers rise for MC, it becomes a bit more of a pain.
Yeah, 2 spines here. I mean, you're not going to be able to break this soon. Yeah. And to be honest, MC doesn't know about the gases or anything, so there could be Zergling speed on the way. There could be a lot of Roaches coming out soon. He's got to play this careful. He does have now +1 attack on the way and is going up towards the robotics facility. He'll probably prevent Golden from pushing out too aggressively, but MC needs to save these units to then bring them together with, by the looks of it at the moment, maybe an Immortal push.
Yeah, could be. These Zerglings were trying to go for either a counter or a wraparound. Either way, they were intercepted, so MC keeping good eyes on the rest of the map. But Golden has kind of held. He has been able to stabilize from here. He's losing a few Lings on this retreat, though.
I definitely think he's stabilized, but I don't think he's really in a lead.
No.
Just the way that MC has saved all these units, and he's still killing off a lot of these Lings. He has the follow-up about to commence here with the robotics facility finishing up, +1 attack finishing up, Immortals on the way. This next push from MC is not going to be pretty.
I mean, all you have to do is look at the resources lost, and yes, it's like 4,000 for Golden, but it's how many units have been lost? 129. That is a huge amount of lava at the start of this game, to the point where MC's economy, 46 workers to 54, you know, isn't really too far behind at all. Golden, yes, he has a gold base, but MC's getting the full wraparound on these Lings. They're all going to die.
Golden does know what's coming, though. He spotted the robotics facility. And to be able to win this game, oh, that's a beautiful trap. Absolutely beautiful trap there by MC. All his units on hold position, killing the majority of these Lings. But Golden does know what's coming. He's seen the robotic facility. He knows this is MC. He can probably just put 2 and 2 together to know that an immortal push is most likely to come here. Can he stop it? Creep spread is good. Roach speed is going to be super useful as well as the circling speed here. But he's going to need a lot of units. And he's lost a lot. I don't think he has the numbers at the moment. 21 Roaches is pretty good, but there is at least 7 to 14 force fields here. Sentries almost with 2 each.
And you know, with all that dancing around, this pylon still having lived from the very beginning of the game gives him an awesome reinforcement point. That's a big army that MC has with a lot of zealots to tank.
These queens are going to be quite helpful, but here comes the fight.
Yes, they are. 4 queens in this army with the transfuses trying to keep those spine crawlers alive. One ends up falling. There are a few more transfuses trying to lay down on some of these roaches, but the force fields are just holding Golden at bay.
Yeah, and look how fast a lot of that just melts.
Yeah.
18 additional roaches, but he's lost the momentum. You can't lose momentum when playing against an immortal push like this. You've got to force the pressure onto your opponent, but that's not the case.
21 Stalkers reinforcing those 2 Immortals behind all of that. He actually doesn't have any more energy for force fields, but with the firepower that he has, the raw firepower in all of this, how are the Roaches supposed to contend?
No, they're not. They're not.
Bye-bye, guys.
This is not looking good for Golden. And MC, in a traditional MC way, just opens up the group with a really clinical set of moves.
Yeah, it's scary. It's like he's putting on that 4-gate aggression and behind it making probes. Zerg, whilst being pressured, how are you supposed to make drones if you're having to make Lings all the time? There you go, GG. Maybe an alternate route to defending other than slow Lings would have helped, do you think?
Yeah, that's one of the ways. But the way that MC was playing with the slow Lings was almost counterbalancing the way that was meant to work out.
Yeah.
Because a lot of players do use just slow Zerglings. Nurture's a good example of that as well, but in this game, I think MC understood what was happening and probably reacted the best that I've seen a Protoss do.
That was good game there. Good start from the champion here in WCS Europe. And all he needs to do is win 1 more game, and then he goes on to the winner's match, which is very, very important here. MC definitely wants first place in this group. You don't want to be a previous champion, take 2nd place in the group, and then have to play against, you know, some very, very tip-top players. Obviously, there's always 2 first places and 2 second places, but you don't want to have 2 first places that aren't you in your group in the round of 16.
Basically, MMA is a favorite to win tomorrow. MC doesn't want to finish in 2nd today and maybe have to play MMA already in the round of 16. That could be quite bad. But one thing to note as well, some of you may or may not know that MC had just recently got back from Korea. If you did know, I bet you didn't know why. He actually went there to file his taxes like a good citizen.
Oh, wow. Okay.
With all the money that he's made, he had to go back to do his taxes, and he went there, and he also was able to practice there for a week or 2, and actually flew back in yesterday to Germany and is now back, rested, and he's looking pretty good.
All right, well, game number 2 is getting loaded up and good to go. Overgrowth is going to be our map for the 2nd, and Golden's got to kind of book up his ideas. I think that this will be a little bit of an easier map for him to gain a bit more control on. You know, if he's going to defend with slow Lings, there's a bit more room to wrap around.
So the way that he did play that out quite defensively with the heavy Ling style, it was a decent defense, but I wouldn't risk that kind of style of defense against a player like MC. Against a lot of other Protoss players, they may freak out and not really know the correct responses and may back off earlier, allowing you to use all those queens and drones properly and creep spread and just kind of take control of the game. But MC never really let go. That kind of defense is more risky to pull off, but does have a lot of rewards with it because you are so heavy in minerals.
Yeah.
Coming into this, I would expect a more traditional setup from Golden. If he attempts the same thing, then we've just seen that MC is actually quite good against that same thing. So maybe more traditionally set up defensively, faster Zergling speed, faster Roaches.
That'd be nice to see some, maybe, just getting those Roaches. It's always nice to have those in the defense. We're just waiting now for the game to start. There we go. Okay, countdown's begun for game number 2. I think it's going to be hard for Golden. I really do think it's going to be difficult. I mean, MC has looked phenomenal for the past 3 seasons. Missed out barely on a top spot in those first 2 that he played.
I think the biggest thing about today's group is that everyone looks at MC to advance no matter what. It's the second place spot, which is the more difficult one.
Yeah.
But there is still a likelihood MC is eliminated today. So he's got to be careful. He's got to look over his shoulders at all points. And Golden can do this. It's not going to be easy, though, as you say.
All right, let's get into it. Game number 2 now, as we have Overgrowth map spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner as our blue Zerg representing Alien Invasion. It is Golden. And up to the top right-hand corner are red Protoss. It is Minchul.
Jang Minchul. Multiple champion, but more importantly, the reigning WCS Premier League champion. 3 finals, 2 second places, and 1 win, which he was overjoyed with after waiting 685 days for the championship title. His last one was the Red Bull Championship before that, almost, well, not almost, over 2 years ago. And here he is, trying to defend that title. The funny thing is, look at what we're seeing from MC already. A 10 gateway.
Wow.
Is not very common in this matchup at all here. A 10 gateway is aggressive. It's MC.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Too true. MC to a T, absolutely. Well,
But there is a drone scout which sees this, which, in terms of the way that Golden played the last one, should be similar in this regard as well. He should identify this as a faster gateway, and he should be, preparing himself. There's going to be faster units out. Stalker, Zealot, Mothership Core.
yeah, this is kind of, the other half of why you kind of go for this kind of scout. But at the same time, going for hatchery first, he now just says, well, instead of in game number 1, me going for a 17 pool, maybe I get my pool a little bit quicker.
So far, 16 drones. He is pushing himself up. But the thing is, he needs to keep in consideration this game is it is okay to defend on 2 bases, but taking a fast third is a no-go.
Oh, yeah.
No-go.
It's going to be difficult.
So he has to sit back on 2 bases, just kind of use his lava a little bit more so than he would usually.
I mean, this Zealot comes out so fast. He hasn't even started. He hasn't realized. He has not realized.
Well, at the moment, it doesn't look like it. No, he went up to the same spawning pool. He's taken the fast third, and, this could spell trouble. He's going to see the Zealot already now, and that will start to,
It's like, wait a minute.
He's like, I went in, I saw a gateway, but I've decided to go 3 hatch. He's going to, risk losing a lot here. I don't think he read into this properly. And I think one of the main reasons for that is it is uncommon. It is uncommon. But the one good thing for him is that MC is probably expecting Golden to actually read into this a little bit more.
Well, seeing that 3rd hatchery, and he's just diverting his attention completely from the natural straight to it.
Yeah, I mean, right now, if the Mothership Core's been chrono boosted, there's a Stalker already out, and there's a Zealot already chopping away on that hatchery.
Yeah.
The spawning pool's not even completed yet, which means Lings and Queens are still a while away.
This is the force of the council.
This is not a good start for Golden. And I think, like I said, this is a very uncommon build. And I don't think he really looked into this properly.
Oh, well, 10 Lings now on the way, but they're going to take ages to actually get over there.
Well, the hatchery's almost at half health already.
If he leaves this... Because, I mean, how is a Queen ever going to get over there to defend from the Mothership Core? Like, it'll take such a long time to walk.
Well, he lets it complete. It's at half health. A Stalker's going down as well. The Mothership Core's on its way. And MC is seeing this and is like, this guy's gone 3 hatch versus me. I've opened up a 10 gateway. I can get this.
Yeah. There is the potential. Especially if he brings that Stalker and he starts doing a lot of work on the Lings. But also, it's forcing a lot of lava away from it. Nice surround on the Zealot. Forcing a lot of lava away from drones, I should say.
Well, MC hasn't got the kill of the hatchery.
With these Lings going for a pseudo counter-attack, this is drawing away the focus.
And that means now that this 3 hatchery goes undisturbed, and that economy is going to shoot up in the next couple of minutes from Golden. And he's been able to be okay in this regard.
Yeah, it kind of gets away with it in the end. MC... trying to kind of force fear into his opponent didn't really work out too well. Ooh, juke. Oh, there's the juke.
Yeah, that was nice.
All right, needs to do it again.
One of these. Yeah, Golden would be ready for it this time, though.
Yeah, yes, he would. Just ring around the rosy with the Mothership Core and get a few Zergling kills. But again, this gave him the time to establish that 3rd base, which is always quite nice here for Golden.
Yeah, and now there's 3 Queens out, and there is a ton of lava already. There's already 8 lava, and more going to pop out soon. And that is going to really rush up the drone count. Really, really high at this point.
Yeah, I mean, there was 8 in production there at the 6:30 mark, so that's pretty darn fast.
Yeah, there are more gateways coming in, and Golden has seen 2 of the gateways and has also seen the Mothership Core and a Stalker walk past those gateways. So he does realize this attack is coming, but he is playing a more traditional defense as hoped for. There's Zergling speed. Yeah.
Makes it harder for these Stalkers to really do anything.
That was good micro again by MC. Like, he kept that Stalker alive. There's a lot of Lings that were killed off.
He's doing a lot of damage.
Oh, a Probe is sneaking around the right-hand side here.
Yeah.
MC is going to start to build up a unit count back at home, and the Probe is going to leave. But 8 more drones. The economy heavily in favor of Golden. And upon seeing that gas there, that will trick him a little bit. Because if I was the Zerg player, seeing that gas coming down, I'm like, well, you see me get Zergling speed. He's already backed off. I've won this kind of mental war, which means we could see more drones come out from Golden. But remember, there's still that Probe on the right-hand side.
Yeah, throwing down those sneaky pylons, and we have this Mothership Core still moving into a position over at the 3rd base, having to push forward.
Yeah, and these units have not been seen yet. They kind of can sneak past the Overlord on the natural. There's nothing on the Zelnaga tower here. 4 more drones coming in, 12 additional Lings, but now
that's a bit of a trigger. Yeah.
And, oh, is he going to get the... He can't get the pylon, can he?
Oh, it's going to be very close. It doesn't look like it.
If you got the pylon, that would have been disastrous. You would have been so far away from reinforcements.
A few more sentries and zealots warp in here to actually go for the push, and those Zerglings, they spot the majority of that force. So
8 roaches, though. That's a lot of roaches.
Yeah. Especially if he's buying time with these Zerglings, just kind of running around in circles, and that's exactly what he's doing here is Golden. Really good maneuvering here with his very speedy units.
I don't think this is going to work for MC. I'm not sure.
Spine finishes. Roaches need to get over here as well, but Creep has been connected between these 2 bases well. He actually breaches into an area where force fields are very powerful, so he has to be careful. Very good force fields to start things off.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he could just pick the hatch and get out of here.
Yeah.
But it's still, there's a lot of units for Golden.
Well, that's why he hasn't used a time warp, right? He's looking for it, and he needs to recall. There we go. So, good escape there by MC, and he's adding on even more sentries with the Robo facility.
I'm not sure he would go for an attack. I don't think that would... Oh, well, it is difficult to call with MC. I would imagine that he'd start to kind of lean himself towards taking a 3rd base. There's a lot of sentries. And the reason why I think that is because right now, there's no real way for Golden to build up heavy drone counts. Because what is he droning towards? A 3rd that is almost... it's far away. He's already got 60-odd drones. Yeah, you'd be expecting him to build an army for a counterattack, or at least a catch of a counterattack. But look how many sentries MC has.
That's a lot of sentries. He's adding, well, the Twilight Council as well. It feels very kind of 3rd basey here. But as you said, could be completely different. Yeah, I'm surprised this Overlord hasn't been killed off above the natural. Just use the Mothership Core for the vision and then deny that. It would make it a bit more, put you a bit more in the dark as to what you're doing compared to your opponent. And Golden, he's actually setting himself up to look like he's going to assault a 3rd base.
Yeah, he's definitely feeling that. And especially if MC goes one way, he could try to get a catch of these units. There are Lings on the right-hand side looking for a run-by or something. But the thing is with MC, it's very difficult to read into. But he has thrown down the Robotics Bay here. Robotics Bay obviously unlocking the Colossus tech, which would suggest to all of us now that he is going to try and drag this one out a little bit longer. Or whether he pushes out and buys that time and then has Colossus by the time he backs off with his fight. But, I mean, Dark Shrine coming in.
He noticed this vulnerability. There is a small window here where Creep has not been spread from the main to natural, that he could get the ramp if he wanted, but it looks like he's going towards the main mineral line. The ramp is so juicy here, though. Okay, he's going to try that. And that's pretty quick. He could actually start warping in here. He's making a Dark Shrine behind this. This is scary here for Golden. 5 Hydralisks, 7 Hydralisks on the way. He pulls the drones. He knows that there's a lot of potential in this attack from MC.
And of course, MC just doesn't have a 3rd Nexus coming in at all. He has a Colossus, Robotics Bay and Dark Shrine coming in.
This is what MC does, I guess. Just
it's all kind of tech. MC. Yeah, it's just such an aggressive player.
Yeah. But he makes it work. Somehow, some way, he makes it work. And now he's holding this ramp with a lot of patience.
And he just needs to keep hitting that force field. And he actually holds the complete main base here. There are units popping out here, Hydralisks.
Ooh, a great force field again on the back of this mineral line. And as long as he... well, those Hydras popping and kill those sentries
so
is a
many
big pain.
drones have gone down already here.
18 in
and then
total.
There is the potential to use the Warp Prism for Dark Templar now as well.
He just keeps going. Well, these Lings should be able to get at least one sentry, but they don't get the one with energy. If they'd have focused that one down that did have some energy, maybe that would have helped, but The main's gone down. He can actually evacuate some of these zealots out if he wants. Wow.
And Golden looks at the third base, and at this point, as a Zerg, you're just like, all right, I just got to keep defending. Just keep defending. He's on 2 bases. He's on 2 bases. But there is no Spire. There is 1,000 sentries, or 7 to be exact.
It's quite a few,
and that's a lot of force fields, which means the units that Golden has, how are they meant to touch the Colossus? There's a Dark Shrine, a Dark Templar that just got warped in here that still hasn't been spotted for. And how can you account for all these tech not expecting it?
It never ends.
From an opponent who is on just 4 gases and just 2 bases.
It never ends. Even just one Dark Templar here is a massive disruption. Like, you now have to morph in an Overseer, and you need to wait for the layer to finish up for that. You need yourself a Spore Crawler in that case.
Yeah,
this is really irritating.
There is a bunch of units on the other side of the map which could cause a couple of problems for MC, but overall his army, I don't think can be touched. The Colossus are unanswered for. The only way would to be coming from behind, getting a full surround. MC is just so unique in everything he does.
Yeah, this is pretty scary right here. He catches so many of those units. Zealots don't have charge, but it doesn't matter, because being caught up against those, unfortunately for them, they're going to get evaporated.
Yeah. And even using Dark Templar to fend at home as well against the onslaught of roaches.
Oh, jeez.
MC goes into the winners match already.
Okay, that was quite impressive. That was quite impressive there on game number 2. MC don't need no third base, is what he's saying.
Protoss don't need no third base. MC making sure of that and putting that out there. But MC just, that's him, right? That's it. That's his playstyle. That's how he likes to play StarCraft.
Scary stuff indeed. So that really does it for our first series. MC moves into the winners match. After the break, we're going to have our 2 Europe stars face off against one another to see who's going to get the opportunity to face MC. It's going to be TLO going up against Happy.